Hello and welcome to my team selection video for the first leg of the round of 16 matches, in other words match day 11 for UCL Fantasy. If you do enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe because we do this for every single match day, as well as tips and lots of guides and stuff that you can look at on the channel after you've watched this one. You're going to have everything that you need to know for the round of 16, which we uploaded yesterday. Some of it we will cover in this video as well. Make sure you follow me on Twitter as well for any team news that does come out before the deadline. But jumping straight into things, we are looking at our team from match day 10, and I actually had the biggest howler that most people probably could have had in match day 10 with only a 49 pointer. I think it's my worst week so far of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, and I think that's probably, I think when I say like the 5th or 6th consecutive red arrow that we have had. We obviously had a very good start to the campaign. I think like match day 6 or match day 7 I was sitting around 3k. Since then, it's just been red arrow, red arrow, red arrow. Thankfully, no massive red arrows, but we are down to 17,000th in the world now, heading into the round of 16, which I would like to, obviously try and build up from that. So I might look to pick a couple of differentials this week, but obviously we'll show the team in a little minute. So looking at it, basically the big gaping failure is Girassi as the captain. Obviously, he returned before match day 10 in every single match day so far. He got a penalty, missed the penalty, and then got subbed off not long after with a 0-pointer. And he obviously played on day 2 because I captained Kane on day 1, and he got a 1-pointer. So absolutely horrendous. To be fair, other than Girassi, the alternative to captaincy would have probably been Ousmane Dembele, and then a big win for PSG. He was probably the worst one, and again he also got subbed early as well. Theo Hernandez, a big disappointment as well after picking up a red card. So realistically it was only the PSG players and Pavlidis, who was my big differential up front, that done well, and we ended up with 49 points. So not a great week all round. I think the only player that actually done that great I think was Mbappe, obviously picking up the hat-trick against Man City, and that's obviously where the red arrows came from. So I think I was about 12,000th heading into match day 10. We've now dropped 5,000 places, and we're at 17k this week. So we're going to take a quick brief look at some of the fixtures and odds and stuff like that. Obviously most of this is covered in yesterday's video, so if you want a deeper look at it, make sure you go and watch that after you've watched this one. But this week, Tuesday and Wednesday, a lot of the good teams are playing on Wednesday, so it is going to be a little bit of a struggle trying to get a lot of Tuesday players in, because obviously Dortmund are looking okay. Real Madrid are one of the teams that you would want, but obviously with Bellingham being suspended, there is a little bit of a lack of options. Arsenal as well, a lack of attackers that you can go for. Other than that, there probably isn't that too many great players, so you're looking at Dortmund, Real Madrid and maybe Arsenal defenders for Tuesday. Obviously Wednesday you've got much better players with Inter Milan, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, PSG and Liverpool. A lot of good players available on Wednesday, so this is going to be ideal for next match day when all these teams play on Tuesday. But for this week we are definitely going to have to get at least some Dortmund players in, a few Real Madrid, and you are probably going to have to get a couple of Arsenal defenders in. As the draw stands, this is the projected draw based on Odds Checker, the chances of each team to qualify out of the round of 16. So again, another reason to go for a lot of these teams that look likely to progress, because I don't have any chips remaining and we don't have any periods of unlimited transfers either. So we don't want to be stuck with a lot of players who have been eliminated when we only have, 4 or 5 transfers to make heading into the next round. So we get 3 transfers before the second leg and 5 transfers before the quarterfinals, so there is plenty this week to use and at least prepare ourselves for that. But again, looking at the quarterfinals, it's probably Barcelona that have the best fixture, Liverpool also with a good fixture, so they could be the teams to look at if you want to prepare long term. I think more so Barcelona, as they have the better fixture this week as well, against Benfica away from home in match day 11, then at home against Benfica in match day 12. So I think next week is where you're going to want the quadruple Barcelona, and then the decent fixture as the Champions League quarterfinals go against Dortmund. Inter have a really good chance this week, so they are another one that you probably want to get a couple of players from. Liverpool, obviously a little bit more of a difficult fixture against PSG. That could be another one maybe in the quarterfinals where you use your 5 transfers and get a couple extra Liverpool players in. So I'm going to be focusing my defence on the top 4 teams for clean sheet odds. That's going to be Inter Milan, Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid and Arsenal. Inter Milan are missing Jan Sommer through a broken thumb, so they are going to be playing their backup goalkeeper, who's obviously going to be a nice cheap option if you did want to go there. But again, you are probably going to have to make the transfer at some point in the next few weeks. Borussia Dortmund, Lille at home this week. Probably not a great fixture in match day 12, so that is something I would keep in mind. Maybe don't double up on the Dortmund defence, because matchday 12 against Lille away from home isn't going to be great to have a double up, and if they do go through, they then go against Barcelona. So it is really a 1 week punt, I think, for the Dortmund defenders. So I think 1 is enough, whether you want to go for Benzabiene, Ryerson, Schlotterbeck or Chan, all pretty decent options. Real Madrid up against Atletico, again a difficult fixture next week when they play away from home, so you probably only want to get like 1 Real Madrid player in defence there. Rudiger would be my pick if you wanted to know that. Arsenal, again a nice one. They are high for the away fixture, which is important to know, because next week they'll obviously play at home to PSG. So Arsenal is a team that you probably could get a couple of players from, whether that's Gabriel, Saliba, Raya, all really nice options. You could easily double up with them having the away fixture this week and then playing at home. Obviously Real Madrid are the team they are projected to play in the quarterfinals, so you'd probably use some of your transfers to move on from there if they do go through. A couple of ones that you might want to watch out on, of course, Leverkusen, very popular defenders when it comes to Grimaldo and Frimpong. They've only got an 18% chance of keeping a clean sheet this week, with Bayern also being heavy favourites to go through in the tie. So maybe don't look at them this week. It could be an option for match day 12 when they do play at home to Bayern Munich. But yeah, obviously these guys can score. The clean sheet isn't the be all and end all for the 2 wing backs from Leverkusen, so they are still okay options. Just when you're looking for clean sheets, it's maybe not the best. Same with Liverpool, only a 20% chance. Hakimi, Pacho from PSG, obviously only a 22% chance there as well. With Barcelona, they've got a 25% chance. Obviously the goalkeeper, being Szczesny, is only 4 million, which I've got no idea why he get priced at 4 million, but he is the starting goalkeeper for Barcelona. So even, with that price, you're looking at a very, very good value goalkeeper, despite the fact that they aren't too high for clean sheet odds. Already mentioned it with Barcelona, a really good team to get a few players from. They are the highest for 2.5 or more goals, with 36% chance. So you're looking at a lot of attackers as well. You've got Lewandowski, you've got Rafinha, probably 2 essential players for this week. You've also got Dani Olmo, who's been in great form, and of course Lamine Yamal as well. So lots of good options for Barcelona. You definitely want to pick up a couple of those. That is what I'm going to be doing myself. For Inter Milan, 31% chance. Now, Lautaro Martinez is an option that I really, really do like. Right now I don't have him on my team, but I am definitely considering it, because I think he could be a really nice differential that isn't going to be owned too much. And of course they're playing against Feyenoord away from home this week, and then they've got the home fixture next week as well. A decent captaincy option as well. I think Martinez has a 40% chance of scoring, I want to say, this week, so still a really, really good chance of him doing really well. Dortmund, Guirassy, someone who obviously was a big failure, I know firsthand from last week, but Champions League he's done fantastic. He scored 5 goals in his last 2 matches as well. He picked up a 4-goal haul against Union Berlin last week, so still on very, very good form, and obviously a really nice one to pick up. And then Salah for Liverpool, obviously a fantastic option that pretty much everyone is going to own. So currently this is how my team is lined up. Again, very mixed in the defence. I haven't, fully gathered a lot of players from the one team. I've only got 2 double ups in there with Inter Milan and Arsenal, because they've got really good clean sheet odds this week, and then next week they go into the home fixture where they will probably be at the top for clean sheet odds as well. So I've got Dumfries, great attacking threat, and I've got Bastoni. Would have loved to have DeMarco in there as well, but he is going to be injured for the next 3 weeks after picking up an injury over the weekend. We've got Gabriel, we've got Raya, two good enough picks for Arsenal, hoping they can get a clean sheet as well. And then obviously our other top, clean sheet odds kind of teams, we've got Rudiger, we've got Schlotterbeck, one from each of them, because I don't think the away fixture next week is going to be too favourable. And then of course Szczesny, the best value goalkeeper in the game, only 4 million, the cheapest you can get for a goalie. Despite having not really too great clean sheet odds at 4 million, I feel like you've got to go for the Barcelona number one, and just hope that he does well. Again, you can see with my budget as well, it works really nicely. I've only got 0.2 million in the bank after making this team, so having the 4 million goalkeeper is just ideal. And of course, Benfica at home next week will be a better fixture, and then potentially Dortmund or Lille in the quarterfinals. Now the midfield is where I found it very hard to pick a lot of players that would maybe, I don't want to pick the absolute template midfield that everyone is going to have, which is probably going to be Salah, Rafinha, Dembele, and then adding in Florian Wirtz in there, and then potentially, someone else that that people could go for, whether that's another Dortmund midfielder or another PSG midfielder, whoever that's going to be, Vitinha or Barcola or something. So I've tried to go a little bit, differential outside of the three obvious ones in Salah, Rafinha and Dembele. And I've went for Dani Olmo for Barca. I do prefer him to Lamine Yamal, who hasn't been, returning with the goals and assists as much recently. Olmo has done really well in recent fixtures as well for Barcelona. And I've went for Asensio because he does play on the first day. I don't he's probably the worst player in this team, if I'm being honest. He's the one that is most likely to come out, but again, I only have 0.2 million in the bank to try and switch him over, and for 6.9 million there isn't a lot of great options. He's obviously done really well for Aston Villa recently. Villa are favourite to go through against Bruges, so he is in there for now. I'm kind of tempted to go for someone like a Jamie Gittins or Gross. I think I'm just out of the budget range for Gross, but potentially another Dortmund player. I'm not the biggest fan of tripling up on Dortmund this week though, so that's why I've not went for that. But he is definitely an option that I could consider, and of course they also play on day one. The front three is pretty much locked, I think, as well. Guirassy, Mbappe and Lewandowski. Again, I would really like to get in Lautaro Martinez, who I think would be a fantastic differential, because I think this front three is going to be, the front three that essentially everyone is going to have this week, which isn't going to be great for gaining rank, and I think Lautaro Martinez could be a really good one to try and break that template. In terms of who I would take out for Lautaro Martinez is a little bit more difficult, because he does play on day two, and obviously trying to fit in day one players is a little bit of a struggle. As you can see on the screen, we've got Mbappe, we've got Guirassy, Asensio, Rudiger, Gabriel, Schlotterbeck and Raya. So we've got 7 players playing on Tuesday, and we've got 8 players playing on Wednesday. So I feel like I've managed to deal with that quite well with the players that I've got. Again, that is why Asensio is in here. For the second leg, I would really like to get in Jude Bellingham. Obviously he's suspended for this leg, but he has 9.1 million, so if I'm going to move Asensio onto Bellingham, I'm going to have to try and fill, I think, 2.2 million I need to try and find from somewhere, which could happen from moving on either an Mbappe or a Lewandowski to someone like Lautaro Martinez. So Mbappe to Lautaro Martinez could be a move for me for matchday 12. For this week, I think I'm just going to stick with that front three. With the defence, I'm fairly nailed on that. I can't see that moving at all. The only players that I think could potentially switch would be Asensio and maybe Dani Olmo in midfield. But I'm not really seeing a lot of good midfield options that I'm liking too much this week. So I think this is pretty much going to be what the team is looking like for match day 11. Of course, if there is any changes, I will post it before the deadline over on my Twitter account. So the link is in the description if you want to go and follow me if you don't already, or it's right below my face if you want to go and type it in yourself. Captaincy wise, between Guirassy and Mbappe, I think I'm going to go for Guirassy. Obviously it's on Mbappe on the screen right now. As a very 50-50 at the minute. Obviously I've got it on Mbappe because Guirassy pissed me off last week, but we'll wait and see as between those two. Lewandowski is more than likely going to be the captain as well for Wednesday if my day one captain doesn't go too well. So that's how we're looking for this week, hoping to finally get another green arrow. It's been a good few weeks since we have had a good week, but let me know what you're doing with your team down in the comments section. Make sure to leave a like again if you haven't already, and subscribe for more UCL fantasy. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.